Does your dog ever suddenly race around the house like something just flipped a switch? Sometimes it comes out of nowhere. Your dog starts spinning in circles, tearing across the living room, and it looks like someone just hit the turbo button. If you've seen this before, you may have thought, wait, is something wrong? Are they sick? Don't worry. What you just saw has a name, there's science behind it, and in most cases, it's actually a really good sign. Let me explain. What you're seeing is usually a sudden burst of energy known as frenetic random activity periods, or FRAPs for shorts. But most people just call them Zoomies. Zoomies can look like fast sprints, sharp turns, sudden stops, circles around the room, and sometimes even play bows, where your dog drops the front half of their body while keeping their rear end up in the air. Your dog isn't possessed. They're letting off steam. It's a pretty common dog behavior, so let's look at why it happens. Even though Zoomies may seem random, they often follow a pretty recognizable pattern, and one of these reasons may be behind them. Age. During puppyhood, your dog is growing, learning, and taking in the world at full speed. They have tons of energy, very little self-control, and a whole new world of sights, sounds, and smells hitting them every day. That's why puppies tend to get the Zoomies more often. Still, puppies aren't the only ones who do this. Many adult dogs, and even some senior dogs, still get the Zoomies from time to time. Excitement. Seeing the leash, hearing your keys, realizing you're home, or sensing that it's time for a walk can set off a huge wave of excitement. In this case, your dog isn't running because they want to disobey you. They're running because they're so excited they can barely keep all that energy inside. The evening witching hour. Many dogs have what people often call a witching hour, and it usually shows up toward the end of the day. It may happen when you get home from work, around dinner, before the last walk, or right before bedtime. It's almost as if, before winding down, they need to burn through one last bit of fuel. After a bath. For many dogs, bath time isn't exactly a spa day. There's water, shampoo, being touched all over, strong smells, and that weird feeling in their coat. Once it's over, some dogs run, shake, roll around, and rub themselves against everything. It's not always just happiness. A lot of the time, it's relief, stress coming out, and an urge to get that weird feeling off their body. After pooping. This is one of the funniest types of Zoomies. Your dog does their business and suddenly takes off like they just won a championship. It can be a mix of physical relief, excitement, and the urge to move again. If there's no pain, diarrhea, constipation, or anything else unusual, it's usually completely normal. Playing keep away. This often kicks in when your dog grabs a sock, a towel, or something they shouldn't have. You try to take it away, and in their mind, the best game in the world has just begun. That's when the running, spinning, and victory laps around the house begin. Stress, tension, or frustration. Not every Zoomie comes from happiness. Zoomies can also happen because of stress or nervous tension. That's why some dogs take off after a vet visit, after an uncomfortable situation, or when they're overtired and don't know how to settle down. Not enough exercise. If your dog gets the Zoomies every day, always around the same time, and also barks, nips, jumps, or seems like they can't stop, maybe they're not getting enough physical exercise. The goal isn't to run them into the ground, but to give them the right kind of movement for their age, breed, and physical condition. Not enough mental stimulation. A dog can go on a 30-minute walk and still come home mentally restless if they didn't get a chance to sniff, explore, or figure things out. VCA Animal Hospitals explains that enrichment provides physical and mental stimulation and can improve a dog's emotional well-being. Now that we've looked at why Zoomies happen, there's one important thing left to cover: how to keep your dog safe during Zoomies. Even though Zoomies are usually normal, a dog racing around the room doesn't always judge distances very well. They can slip, crash into furniture, knock something over, or accidentally barrel into someone. The goal isn't to stop the Zoomies by yelling, because your dog isn't doing anything wrong, but to make the environment safer. Instead, do this. Keep outdoor Zoomies safe. If your dog tends to bolt outdoors, it's better for that to happen in a fenced area, a secure yard, or on a long line. Avoid roads, bikes, high traffic areas, and places where your dog could slip away. Give your dog better traction indoors. At home, slippery floors can be a problem. If your dog skids a lot, put down rugs or steer those moments toward areas with better traction. One sharp turn at full speed can end with a hard bump or even an injury. Watch out for fragile objects. Zoomies don't exactly follow a careful route. Your dog may brush past a table, crash into a chair, or knock over a vase without meaning to. If your dog has a favorite route for those wild laps, clear that area before the witching hour hits. Be careful around kids and older people. A medium or large dog racing around can knock someone over without meaning to. If there are young children or older adults nearby, it's better to step aside for a moment or move your dog into a more open space. Don't chase your dog if that winds them up even more. For many dogs, the second you run after them, the Zoomies turn into a chase game. If they're in a safe area, let the intensity come down on its own. If you need to redirect them, use a calm voice, a treat, or a simple cue they already know. Now that we've covered the key things to know about Zoomies, the next video on screen is the one I recommend watching next. In that video, I'll explain why your dog sometimes puts a paw on you. Tap the image to watch it and find out what's really behind that gesture.